Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. I'm so excited to really dig into this topic. I know a lot of you out there probably just as obsessed with this as I am,
Yeah.
figuring out YouTube's algorithm.
Oh, yeah, the algorithm. It's always changing, right?
Especially in 2025, right? Like I feel like it's changed so much even in the last year.
Yeah.
So we've got a ton of great sources we're looking at today. We've got a blog post from, I think they call themselves an SEO guru or something like that.
hmm
Really in-depth blog article about how the algorithm works in 2025. And then this is what I'm really excited about. We have a video straight from the YouTube Creator Insider
Oh,
channel,
straight from the source.
straight from the source. And one thing that really stood out to me looking at all three of these is that AI and personalization are like the biggest things this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, the algorithm's always been kind of a mystery, but I feel like now it's
Even more of a mystery.
even more of a mystery, yeah. But it's also getting, way more sophisticated. But here's the thing, I think it's important for people to realize. At the end of the day, what YouTube really cares about is making sure its viewers are having a good time.
Yeah.
They want people to be engaged. They want people to find the content that they love. So it's like we as creators, we're focused on making great content,
Yeah.
but YouTube is focused on making sure their viewers are happy.
Does that almost make it like less about us?
Well, I wouldn't say less about us. It's more like we need to understand that it's not just about tricking the system or
Right.
or finding loopholes. It's about working with YouTube almost to give viewers what they want.
So almost like we're partners with the algorithm.
In a way, yeah.
Mm.
It's a partnership. And, like I said, YouTube wants to make sure that the right viewers are matched with the right videos. And the better they do that, the longer people watch, the more they engage, the better it is for all of us.
Okay, so I'm feeling a little less stressed about it now. But the YouTube video, actually, it uses this phrase. It says, hyper-personalized experience driven by AI. And that sounds,
It sounds scary.
well, it sounds kind of scary, but it also sounds like really smart word of mouth, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, imagine you have a friend who knows your taste in videos perfectly. They're only going to recommend stuff that they know you'll love, right?
Right.
Based on what you've watched before, what people like you have enjoyed. That's what the algorithm is trying to do on a much larger scale.
Oh, okay. So, like, if the algorithm's that good at matching me with content that I'm going to like, does that mean that, like, as creators, do we need to, like, really, really understand our audience even better than we did before?
Absolutely. Yeah. Knowing your audience, what they're interested in, their viewing
Yes,
habits,
maybe
it's more important than ever.
because the algorithm's going to pick up on all that, too.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, forget about all those myths you hear about, like, thumbnail colors or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's not going to make or break your video. The blog article, I think it was the blog article, it had a whole section on debunking these myths.
Mm-hmm.
A good thumbnail is important.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, but it can't save bad content. What matters is that you're making high quality videos that are actually, engaging and meet the needs of your viewers.
So basically, content is still king.
Yeah, pretty much.
That actually makes me think about this whole idea of watch time. Because, like, the blog article talks a lot about optimizing for watch time, which, like, that seems kind of obvious, right? You want people to watch your videos.
Right, of course.
But it also mentions all these, I guess, tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Like having a really strong hook in the first, 15 seconds, using things like open loops and pattern interrupts. Does that stuff actually make a difference?
Oh, it absolutely does. And here's why. YouTube isn't just measuring how long people are watching. They're also looking at how satisfied people are with your video. They want to know, are people actually enjoying this? Are they getting something out of it? Or are they just, kind of passively watching?
So they're looking at things like likes, comments, shares, all that.
Exactly. Yeah. And even going beyond that, they're using surveys now, like within the platform, to actually gauge viewer satisfaction. They want to make sure that watch time is actually translating into a good experience for the viewer.
So it's not just about keeping them on the hook. It's about making sure they enjoy the ride.
Yeah, exactly. And this ties back to what we were saying about knowing your audience. The more you understand what your viewers are looking for, what resonates with them, the better you'll be able to create content that satisfies both the viewers and the algorithm.
Okay. So that's starting to make a lot more sense to me now.
Yeah.
But the article also, it mentioned something that I hadn't really thought about before, which is treating YouTube as a search engine. Like, why would I do that?
Well, here's the thing. YouTube is actually like the second biggest search engine in the world.
Why?
Yeah, second only to Google. So many people go to YouTube to find answers to their questions, learn new stuff, or just, be entertained. So it's not just a place to upload videos, it's a place where people are actively searching for information.
So YouTube SEO, that's still a thing in 2025.
Big time, yeah. Like, you got to think about keywords in your title and your description, even in your subtitles. And chapters. Chapters are huge now. The algorithm loves chapters
Why?
because it helps it understand the structure of your video. It's like, giving the algorithm a roadmap of your content.
It's amazing, but also a little creepy how much it can analyze.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive, but I think, it's all in the service of connecting viewers with content that they're going to love. And, when viewers are happy, creators benefit,
Okay,
right?
so yeah, that makes sense. But speaking of expanding your reach, there was this thing in the YouTube video that just like I don't know, it kind of blew my mind. It was the 80% rule for multi-language content.
Oh, yeah, the 80% rule. That's interesting.
So tell me, why is that a thing?
Well, basically what the YouTube team found is that if you dub at least 80% of your existing videos into another language, it can really help your channel grow.
So like 80% of all my videos.
Yeah, at least 80%, they say.
Hmm.
It seems like a lot, but, think about it from the algorithm's perspective.
Okay.
If somebody's browsing YouTube in, let's say, Spanish, and they come across your channel, they're going to be much more likely to stick around if they see that there's a lot of content available in their language.
That makes sense. So it's like it's showing the algorithm, hey, this channel is relevant to this audience.
Exactly. Yeah, and that can lead to more recommendations, more views, the whole thing.
So it's not just about reaching new viewers, it's about making sure that once they find you, they stick around.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to keep them engaged. And I think that's a really important takeaway for anybody who's thinking about, expanding their audience globally.
Okay. So we've talked about personalization, we've talked about watch time, YouTube SEO, going multilingual. But what about those times when like you're doing everything right, you think you're doing everything right, and you still see like a dip in your views?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
every creator's nightmare.
Right, it's going to happen. It happens to everybody.
So what did the YouTube team have to say about that?
Well, first of all, they really emphasize that, fluctuations are normal. Like, you're not going to see those peak views every single month, and that's okay. It's about building a sustainable channel for the long term.
Okay. But how do you not freak out when it happens?
So one thing they recommend is to kind of zoom out, Don't just look at the current month's data. Look at the bigger picture, like, yearly trends, seasonality, that kind of thing.
So like maybe my videos just do better in the summer or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like certain topics might be more popular at different times of the year. And they also recommend checking Google Trends, to see if interest in your niche is actually declining overall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like maybe it's not me, maybe it's just the topic.
Right. And they also mention looking at your subscription tab analytics. That can give you a sense of how your core audience, the people who are already subscribed to you, are reacting to your content.
So you can kind of tell like, is it the algorithm or is it actually my audience?
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah.
good way to kind of separate those two things.
Okay. Wow, we've covered so much already.
Mhm.
But there's one thing that I can't wait to dive into, and it's like the thing that is blowing my mind the most, and that's YouTube Shorts and the integration of large language models.
Oh, yeah, the AI stuff, that's where it gets really interesting.
So YouTube Shorts, I get, right? Like those are exploding in popularity.
Hmm.
But like these large language models, they're taking the algorithm's understanding of video content like to a whole new level. How is that even possible?
Well, it's pretty complex, but essentially these large language models, they can read videos, they can understand the themes, the emotions, even the way that the content is presented. What, how is that even possible?
It's all AI, It's like they've been trained on like massive amounts of data, and they can like analyze videos in ways that we never thought possible before. Like they can even pick up on like emotional tone, and how well your content aligns with your target audience.
So it's almost like they're reading between the lines of our videos.
Yeah, kind of. And the YouTube team, they use this analogy in the video that I thought was really helpful. They talk about the difference between a cook and a chef.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So a cook, they can follow a recipe, right? But a chef, they understand the fundamentals of cooking. They can adapt to different ingredients, different situations. And these large language models, they're like the chefs of the YouTube world.
Oh, wow, okay, so they're not just following a set of rules. They're actually understanding the essence of what makes a good video. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And it means that Authenticity is more important than ever, like these models can tell when a creator is being genuine and when they're just trying to like force something.
Wow. Okay. So that changes things. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm really curious to hear more about what this means for creators. Like, how can we adapt our strategies to this whole new world of AI-powered understanding?
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that more. But I think maybe it's time for a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes to explore the implications of all this and talk about how you can leverage these changes to create content that really thrives on YouTube in 2025.
All right. So we're back. And I'm still kind of wrapping my head around those large language models, the YouTube chefs that are like analyzing our videos.
Yeah, it's pretty wild stuff.
But I guess like those models are still just tools, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just like, like a camera or editing software.
Okay, so it's not like we're like losing all control to the robots or anything.
Yeah. Not yet, anyway. But I do get why some creators might be feeling a little, I don't know, apprehensive about all this.
Yeah, for sure. Like it almost feels like, I don't know, like our success is completely in the hands of this algorithm that we don't fully
Yeah.
understand.
I get that feeling. But I think instead of feeling powerless, we should focus on what we can control. Our creativity, our content, our connection with our audience. Those are the things that really matter.
So how do we do that? How do we like shift our mindset from feeling like we're being controlled to feeling empowered?
Well, I think it starts with understanding that the algorithm, even with all its AI power, is still designed to serve a purpose. It wants to connect viewers with content they'll love.
Right. Like that's its job.
Exactly. And we as creators, we're the ones making that content. We have the power to tell stories, share our passions, build communities. Those are things that AI can't replicate.
Yeah, you're right. And, it makes me think of something the YouTube team said in their video about the importance of experimentation.
Oh, yeah, they're really emphasizing that.
Like, we need to be adaptable, willing to try new things and see what works.
Yeah. And that's always been true for YouTube, right? But it's even more important now with the landscape changing so quickly.
So we need to be, like, data-savvy creators, constantly analyzing our analytics, looking for patterns, and, like, adjusting our approach based on what we're seeing.
Exactly. It's all about being a data-driven creator.
But, like, where do we even begin?
Hmm.
Like, with all these moving parts, it's kind of overwhelming?
Well, one thing that hasn't changed, and this is like the core of it all, is the importance of creating content that provides genuine value to your viewers.
Right, like actually making good videos.
Exactly. The algorithm might be getting smarter, but it still prioritizes videos that people actually enjoy watching and engaging with.
So it's not just about like chasing views or gaming the system. It's about like actually creating something that your audience finds valuable.
Exactly. And, think about what makes you unique as a creator. What's your perspective? What do you bring to the table that no one else can? That's what's going to set you apart.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Like it's easy to get caught up in the numbers and all that, but ultimately it's our creativity, our voice. That's what connects with people.
And that's what the algorithm is trying to reward.
Okay, so like we got to be adaptable, data-driven, and focus on creating valuable content. But like things are changing so fast on YouTube. How do we stay ahead of the curve?
Well, I think the key is to stay curious. Never stop learning. Pay attention to what other creators are doing, experiment with new formats and strategies.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to, like, ask for help or, get advice from other
So it's
creators.
all about being part of the community, right?
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many great resources out there, like YouTube's Creator Insider channel, blogs, communities, courses. Like, you don't have to figure this all out on your own.
That's reassuring because sometimes it does feel like we're all just like out here on our own trying to crack the code.
Yeah, but trust me, there's a whole community of creators out there who are going through the same things, facing the same challenges.
Okay. And, even with the best strategies and all the resources in the world, we're still going to run into some bumps in the road.
Oh, absolutely. The algorithm can be fickle. There will be times when your views dip, your engagement drops.
And it's so easy to like get discouraged when that happens.
Yeah, I know. But it's important to remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. Building a successful YouTube channel takes time and persistence.
And resilience, right?
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of challenges, there's something that's been on my mind lately, and it's the rise of AI-generated content.
Oh, yeah. With tools like ChatGPT and all that. Like, it seems like anybody can create a script or a video in like minutes.
It's true, and it's definitely shaking things up in the creative world.
And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what does this mean for human creators?
Yeah.
Are we all going to be replaced by robots?
That's the big question, isn't it? And honestly, I don't think there's an easy answer. But I believe that AI has the potential to be a powerful tool for creators. Not a replacement, but a tool.
So we shouldn't be afraid of the robots.
Not necessarily, but we should be aware of their capabilities and how we can use them to our advantage. Like right now, AI is great at things like research, editing, even generating ideas, but it still lacks that human touch, you know?
Right, like it can't tell a story that really connects with people on an emotional level.
Exactly. And I think that's where the real opportunity lies for human creators to focus on the things that AI can't do, telling stories that resonate, connecting with viewers in a genuine way.
So it's all about finding that balance, right, between leveraging the power of AI and still retaining our own unique voice and perspective.
Absolutely. And that's what I find so exciting about the future of YouTube. I think we're moving towards a world where human creators and AI can actually work together, each playing to their strengths.
So like AI handling the technical stuff and us focusing on the creative side.
Yeah, exactly. Like imagine having an AI assistant that can help you with research, editing, all that tedious stuff, freeing you up to spend more time on the things you love, like telling stories, connecting with your audience.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And, even with all the challenges and changes, it does feel like there's a lot to be excited about.
Oh, absolutely. As long as there are creators who are passionate about sharing their voices with the world, YouTube will continue to thrive.
Yeah. And I love that perspective. It's a reminder that even with all this talk about algorithms and AI, it's still the human connection that makes YouTube so special.
It really is. And speaking of connection, we'd love to hear from you, our listeners. How do you see the role of AI evolving in your own creative process? Are you excited about the possibilities or are you feeling a bit apprehensive?
All right, so we're back for the final part of this deep dive into YouTube's algorithm in 2025. Man, we've covered a lot, huh?
We have. It's been a lot to process.
But hopefully you're feeling like a little bit more in the know, a little less overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, it's been more enlightening than overwhelming.
And now that we've kind of gone through all the details, all the different aspects, let's zoom out a little bit. What are the big takeaways here? Like, what are the things that every creator needs to know if they want to succeed on YouTube in 2025?
Well, I think the most important thing, and we've said this a few times already, but it's worth repeating, is that you got to make great content.
Yeah.
Content that actually like resonates with your audience, provides value, entertains them. Like that's the foundation of everything.
Right. So knowing your audience, making videos they'll actually want to watch.
That's it, yeah. And the good news is the algorithm is actually on your side here. YouTube wants to help people find content they'll love. So when you make great videos that your audience enjoys, you're actually helping YouTube achieve its goal too.
So it's like, we're all in this together.
Exactly. It's a win-win. And, beyond that, there are a few key strategies to keep in mind, especially with all the changes happening with AI and personalization. We talked about YouTube SEO, optimizing for watch time, understanding viewer satisfaction.
And that crazy 80% rule for multi-language content.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Basically, the more accessible your content is, the more people who can enjoy it, the better the algorithm is going to treat you.
So dubbing your videos, adding subtitles, even creating content specifically for different regions.
Exactly. Think global. And as AI gets even more integrated into YouTube, the ability to adapt, to experiment, that's going to be crucial.
Yeah, the YouTube team was really hammering that home in their video. Like, embrace experimentation, try new things, see what sticks.
And then use that data to refine your approach.
Yeah, so be data savvy, pay attention to your analytics.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, there's so many resources out there. The Creator Insider channel, blogs, communities, courses. You don't have to figure this all out on your own.
Right. So if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed, just remember, there's a whole community of creators out there who are going through the same thing.
Absolutely. And even with all the best strategies, all the resources in the world, you're still going to hit some bumps along the way.
Oh, yeah. Like, the algorithm can be kind of unpredictable.
It can be, yeah. And your views might dip, your engagement might drop. It happens.
And that can be really discouraging.
It can be. But it's important to remember that building a successful YouTube channel, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to be persistent.
Yeah. You got to play a long game.
Exactly. And I think one of the most important things we've talked about today is, finding that balance between the technical side of YouTube and the human element.
Right, because we've talked a lot about algorithms and AI and data. But ultimately, YouTube is still a platform that's driven by human connection.
Absolutely. It's a place where people can share their stories, their passions, connect with others who share those interests.
And as you're like navigating the complexities of the algorithm, don't ever lose sight of that human element. That's what makes YouTube special, and that's what's going to make your content stand out.
Beautifully said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah. So thank you all for joining us for this deep dive.
We hope you found it helpful and maybe even a little inspiring.
And remember, you have the power to create amazing things on YouTube. So go out there, experiment, connect with your audience, and most importantly, have fun.
Until next time.